Hello, friends. I'm about to read two stories, and then we're going to compare and contrast. Now, both stories are relatable to an author by the name of Aesop. Aesop, he was a legendary Greek writer of fables. Many people believe Aesop was a storyteller from ancient Greece. He told stories about animal characters that did human things. Aesop's stories were spoken out loud. Later, other people gathered the stories in collection that is now referred to Aesop's fables. Each of the Aesop's fables shares a moral or an important lesson to the reader. The Tortoise and the Hare is one of the most famous fables that historians believe Aesop created. I'm going to read the story The Tortoise and the Hare first. Once upon a time, there was a hare. The hare was very fast. He bragged to all the animals about his speed. One day, a tortoise grew tired of the hare's bragging. So the tortoise challenged the hare to a race. The hare laughed. "You could never beat me at a race," he said to the tortoise. The hare gladly accepted the challenge. The next day the race began. The hare was very fast indeed, and the tortoise stepped along quite slowly. So the hare decided to take a nap until the tortoise neared the finish line. He knew he could easily catch up with the tortoise after his nap. The hare slept on and on into the afternoon, while the tortoise plodded along. When the hare finally awoke, the tortoise was approaching the finish line. Despite his incredible speed, the hare could not catch up with the tortoise in time. And so the tortoise won the race. The moral of the story is slow and steady can defeat fast and overconfident. Let's go back and read this story. Henry's Track and Field Day. The Tortoise and the Hare Remix. Henry looked around the track. The sun was shining. The grass was glistening. All the kids were buzzing with excitement. It was track and field day. Henry should have been happy. But Henry was worried. He loved to run. He had been practicing for weeks. He knew he was ready for his race, but he wasn't sure. But he wasn't sure he was ready for Michael, the fastest runner in the school. I think this is Michael, and I think this is Henry. On sign-up day, Michael had bragged, "I am faster than all of you." Henry wasn't sure why, but he had said, "I'll race you, and I'll win too." "You'll never beat me, Henry." "You're the slowest in the class," Michael said. Henry had been so sure then, but he wasn't sure anymore. He was afraid to lose. "What's wrong?" asked his friend Beth. Henry told her about his worries. Beth put her arm around Henry. "Henry, you love to run. You've been practicing hard. Don't worry about Michael. Do your best and never give up." Deep down, Henry knew Beth was right. Finally, it was race time. The boys lined up. Michael said, "I'm going to beat you. I'm the fastest kid in school." Henry was nervous, but he said nothing. He focused on the race. Miss Lopez blew her whistle. The kids were off. Michael took the lead right away. Henry didn't think about Michael. Instead, he thought about how steady his legs felt as he ran. He thought about each step he took. Before long, Michael was far ahead. He stopped running. He bragged loudly to the other kids, "Watch this. I'll let Henry pass me. I'm so fast, I will still win the race." Henry barely noticed. He kept running at the same steady pace. Soon, he was a full lap ahead of Michael. Michael smirked. He began to run again really fast, but something went wrong. Michael only made it a few steps and his shoelace was untied. He tripped on the lace and rolled onto the grass. Henry was on his last lap now, and Michael was trying to get on his feet. Henry crossed the finish line, steady as always. Beth and the other kids cheered. Henry had beat Michael, and best of all, Henry learned that slow and steady can win the race. Now let's go back and compare and contrast. At the end of this book, there are some questions. The first question, how is Henry like the tortoise in the fable? How is Michael like the hare? What lesson does Henry learn from this event? What lesson does Michael learn from this event? Can you think of a time in your life when you have behaved like Henry? Can you think of a time when you have behaved like Michael? How is this story of Henry and Michael different from Aesop's fable? How are the two stories similar? Now, I am reading from a collection of stories in Epic. If you'd like to follow some of the other stories and read them on your own, you can go to getepic.com/app. So go to getepic.com app. Thank you for joining me today.